Hi guys, today we will talk about the awesome world of Naruto and his adventures. This popular anime has been a fan favorite for many years. That explains its large number of episodes and seasons. Today we will talk about its 5th season. In this season, we open up without main protagonist Naruto, who is given the task of overseeing Akamaru, Kiba's dog, who has been behaving in a weird and scary way after the poor dog went on a mission and supposedly got a deadly infection. The situation becomes progressively worse when Akamaru starts to go rabid and attacks the people in Konoha, which forces the Onbaa to arrest him. They make plans to kill the poor dog if a cure cannot be found. Kiba, not happy with the situation, rescues Akamaru and tries to cure him by himself. But when Naruto tries to help him, Kiba does not want it and tells him to leave the matter to him. After some time, we see Kiba's sister arrive, and together with Naruto, they make a team and attempt to fight the now giant and angry Akamaru to give him a shot of the potential cure developed by Konoha's medical team. Even though the cure has an uncertain success rate, the group does not give up. At the end, Kiba manages to give Akamaru the cure but is seriously injured in the process. We later learn that Akamaru avoided Kiba's vital points on purpose during the fight to make sure he is not seriously hurt, a gesture for which Kiba is elated and grateful to Akamaru. As Naruto is on his way somewhere, we see a creature called the Onbaa who latches onto Naruto's back after falling from above. Despite poor Naruto's attempts, it refuses to let go and causes destruction wherever he goes. On the other hand, we see Tsunade as she recalls Jiraiya's childhood trip in search of the Onbaa, with Orochimaru surprisingly having faith in Jiraiya's abilities, though he refuses to admit it anymore as he got embarrassed by it. Jiraiya returns from the trip with a report on Onbaas, claiming that he battled with one, but Tsunade just lets it go hearsay, not trusting a word that Jiraiya said. We see the Onbaa grows larger over time, at one point becoming larger than Naruto. However, during a mission, it ends up helping Naruto, which makes Naruto think that the Onbaa is not too bad. Suddenly, the Onbaa's mother appears. Angry, she throws Naruto away and takes her child. The child Onbaa manages to calm its mother, and they go away. When Naruto returns back to the village, he shockingly sees that now many residents have Onbaas on their backs. Naruto, being an idiot, finds the situation amusing and tells Tsunade to confront the Onbaa as Jiraiya had told her. After some time has passed, we see that Naruto and Shino leave for a mission to Motoyoshi village to aid Fuda, a resident of the village, in securing his place in order to get his inheritance before his greedy sister Tsukiko manages to take it. They decide that they will help him by attending his father's funeral to prevent Fuda from laughing and losing his rights. On the way to the village, they see an elderly woman leaving the village while offering them a suspicious and cryptic warning. Ignoring her, they continue their journey and arrive at the village. While protecting Fuda and planning to prevent his laughter, Shino decides to eat his meal first to protect their host against potential poisoning. Shino also has the power to detect poison while depending on his insects to kill off any toxins. However, Shino himself ends up laughing, making his insects ineffective against the poison. So this makes Naruto step in place of Shino. Later on during the funeral, other attendees make various attempts to provoke Naruto's laughter, but all of these are prevented by the help of Shino's bugs. Ultimately, we learn that the elderly woman they met earlier on their journey was actually the deceased father, Tobei himself. The old fool had excellently planned his own fake death and devised the weird will to bring laughter back to the family and to finally have some peace. After solving the issue, we see a comical scene of Shino warning Naruto to never tell anyone that he had cracked a joke. We skip to see Naruto, Choji, and Hinata are given a mission by their Hokage to assist some people who are migrating from the land of vegetables. Before leaving, Tsunade gives the group a weird-looking package. This package ends up causing misunderstanding as the migrating people mistakenly think that the trio are the Konoha moving service. Unaware that the people are mistaken about their identity, they continue to travel when they come across the Janin, an evil group who has taken control of the land while conducting many strategic attacks. We soon learn that they are actually in the search of one of the people who are migrating. We see an attack conducted by Ruiga, a member of the Janin, which results in Kikunoyo ending up dying in a sad way. Naruto finally gets a sense that their assailants are in pursuit of a specific individual, not everyone, so he tells his comrades that how they've been misled about the true nature of the situation regarding the people who are migrating. They end up finding out the truth that the migrating group was actually concealing the land of vegetables princess, Haruna, who is under threat and seeking refuge from the 3 criminal brothers. Haruna doesn't seem to be very nice. We see that Haruna's lack of trust in others becomes quite evident as she's willing to sacrifice lives to ensure her own survival like a selfish coward she is. She also seems to have the delusional belief that as long as she is alive, she will be the sole hope for rebuilding her nation. She also thinks that the only real matter is that she stays alive while others can die. We skip to see Naruto and Yorinoyo take part in a fierce battle with Ruiga, and with some help from Choji, they manage to defeat him by destroying his dowsing-related techniques, which actually gives him power to detect areas with high water concentration. They defeat him by taking him to a dry region to gain the upper hand. Ruiga somehow manages to survive the fight, but ends up getting killed by his brother Jiga, who greedily wants a larger share of the country's riches and can do anything for it, like killing his own blood. On the other hand, we learn that Haruna's distrust and selfish behavior towards others comes from her childhood experience of being held hostage by her own father. Getting angsty and wanting to get away, she hits Hinata that causes her to fall down and runs away, leaving the others in distress and trouble. Seeing her fleeing, Naruto tries to chase her, but he is stopped by Jiga, who possesses the ability to manipulate magnetism. Naruto gets into a fight with him, but we see him struggling in the battle with Jiga. After coming back to her senses, Hinata joins him in this battle. Initially unable to cause any damage, Hinata is able to figure out Jiga's ability of magnetism. Using her Byakugan and Gentle Fist techniques, she is able to disrupt his chakra, leaving Jiga unable to deactivate his magnetism, causing him to be trapped in a swirling storm of iron sand. This storm also attracts others towards it, so Naruto intervenes in this fight to rescue Hinata from the storm, realizing that both she and Yurinoyo are tired from continuously fighting. Angry and determined, he goes to find the princess alone and leaves to follow her to find where the coward went. As Naruto is gone, Hinata, Choji, and Yurinoyo end up getting kidnapped by the third brother, along with several other ninja. We learn that the final criminal brother, Ringa, possesses the ability to manipulate water vapor in the atmosphere to such an extent that he can control sunlight. As Naruto is leaving, he is stopped by Ringa and Haruna as their paths intersect. Later on in another time, we see Princess Fuku, who is feeling insecure about her appearance as she gained weight due to being in stress. To hide herself from shame, she decides to get a lookalike and finds Ino. She tells her to take her place for meeting her fiance for the first time. Ino agrees to this. We see that Ino, although resembling the princess, has a completely different personality from her. During the meeting, she starts to flirt with the fiance to impress him. The fiance, Chikara, bears a remarkable resemblance to Elvis Presley. However, after some time, she does not look happy about his display for attention. Naruto, observing and growing irritated about how slow the mission is going, decides to take matters in his own hands by disguising himself as the princess. We see a comical scene about how the plan actually ended up working out. Boo later on his idiotic actions exposed that Ino is not the true princess, leading to confusion and frustration. Surprisingly, it turns out that the prince fiancé is a pervert and prefers curvier women, leaving Ino bewildered by his preference in women. As he is returning from a mission and walking through the village, Naruto stumbles upon a poster which showcases a poorly constructed dojo, which happened to be owned by Lee. Naruto decides to check it out of curiosity. Seeing Naruto and believing by mistake that he had come to challenge him, Lee sends him crashing through a wall. However, after finding out, Lee explains that he built the dojo to attract skilled warriors from various backgrounds in order to enhance his combat skills by these fights. After narrowly avoiding getting beaten by Lee, Naruto runs into Guy and shares the news about Lee's dojo. Proud of his students' dedication to improvement, Guy decides to take part in the fights, and to surprise Lee, he disguises himself very badly as we can still identify him. As he is leaving to join the fight, we see that Guy gets called away by Tsunade to assist Team 10 in a mission, leaving Konoha vulnerable to a thief named Nanafushi, who disguised himself as Guy while Guy was departing on the mission. Thinking Nanafushi was Guy by mistake, Naruto drags him to Lee's dojo. Nanafushi, taking it as an opportunity and not ready to break character, faces Lee in combat but gets beaten up Lee. To save himself from the embarrassment of getting beaten up, he tricks Naruto into thinking that he was just exhausted and convinces him to take his place. Knowing he couldn't defeat Lee directly, Naruto just starts to use various shadow clone tactics to get some leverage. Before the fight could conclude, the real Guy arrives and knocks out Nanafushi, who had now disguised himself as Lee. After they had cleared up the confusion, they bring Nanafushi back to Tsunade, still unaware of his true identity. But seeing the thief, Tsunade orders them to capture Nanafushi, and they hand him over to the authorities without delay, as now they are sure about who he is. We see that this marks as one of Naruto's quickest successful missions. We skip to see that the daimyo's wife, Kao, has vanished. This results in Naruto, Hinata, and Kiba to be given the task of finding her. They arrive at a grand castle where they were told to look. But as they decide to enter, Naruto is hesitant as the idiot is scared of the supernatural. As they explore, they see various eerie and strange things like moving pictures and flying books, which shows the mysterious nature of the castle. Eventually, sometime later, they learn that the castle is under a curse cast by its former ruler, Koza, causing it to engulf and kill those who have entered it. Everyone gets scared by this fact. Using her Byakugan, Hinata discovers that the castle was once actually a living, breathing entity, looking like the insides of a giant, ugly creature. With some help from Koza's spirit, they locate the summoning scroll which controls the giant chameleon, which had been following its dead master's orders for decades. By destroying the summoning scroll, they finally free the summon, making it find some peace. On the other hand, this also gives time to Naruto's team to rescue Kao and her companions. Thinking back on the events of their mission, they end up on the conclusion that Koza actually asked their assistance in releasing the summon and allowing it to return home. Back at the village, we see Naruto discover that his comrades and friends have been abducted by Ringa's men, who make demands for Haruna's surrender in exchange for letting them go. As the argument is going on, we find out that Haruna's father, before his passing, expressed remorse and extreme guilt for sacrificing his daughter for the sake of his people, and wished for their well-being regardless of his fate. Touched by Naruto's charismatic influence and her father's revelation, Haruna decides to give herself up to protect Naruto. By using sunlight reflected from his forehead protector, Naruto defeats Ringa, while on the other hand, Shizune, Shikamaru, and several Konoha ninjas successfully rescue Hinata, Choji, and Yorinoyo. With Haruna taking leadership role of the Land of Vegetables in her father's place, done with the mission, we see Naruto and his companions return back to the village victorious. Tsunade, back at her office, is concerned about Rock Lee's habit to push himself beyond his limits. As this main danger has Ninger all in the village, she advises him to refrain from accepting missions or engaging in excessive training, or she will take action. Meanwhile, we see a new student arrive in town. During a battle, he is able to impressively defeat Lee by using many good techniques. He is able to easily dodge his attacks and ends up nearly injuring him. This student later on goes with Guy on a C-rank mission to the land of mountain streams. As this is happening, we see that Lee is not happy about this and also appears to be jealous. Lee feels as if he has been abandoned by his mentor. However, we find out that the new student is an evil impostor who tricked Guy into a trap he orchestrated. This causes Naruto, Neji, and Tenten to come to his aid. Guy is captured and unable to fight inside a structure made up from Kung Fu training dummies. As Naruto, Neji, Tenten, and a newly arrived Lee who had just arrived try to fend off the dummies outside. We find out that the imposter student and his two brothers are looking for revenge against Guy for defeating their father and leaving him gravely injured. This caused their father unable to train or take part in any missions, which eventually lead to his death. Lee enters the structure and becomes captured in a technique that causes both him and Guy to mistake each other for enemy training dummies. However, at the end, they see through the illusion and with each other's help, execute the Hidden Lotus, destroying their respective dummies without harming each other and demolishing the structure in the process. Guy then tells the evil brothers about their father's respect for him and his desire for another fair match, helping them understand their father's final wish. Later back at the village, Naruto shares a meal with an elderly man named Geno, who arrived in Konoha as a carpenter to aid in the village's reconstruction process. However, during the night, Geno runs away with some classified documents and appears to blow himself off in a suicide bombing. He also gives a dire warning to the people about Konoha's destruction. Seeing the severity of this threat, the Konoha 11 are tasked with uncovering more information about Geno's actions, but as they are leaving, the Anbu take Naruto for interrogation, saying that Geno was the culprit behind the theft of the plans and then the escape. Still trying to look for more information, the Anbu guards use reverse hypnosis technique on Naruto but find out that the idiot recalls nothing significant to them. As the investigation is going on, some members of the team try to find out about Geno's background but fail to uncover solid information. All they find shows him to be an ordinary and mediocre carpenter with no remarkable activities. However, after some snooping, they find out that his letter of introduction was forged. Further examination of the site of where he blew himself by suicide bombing and the body in the hospital indicates that Geno actually fakes his own death. As the investigation about the incident is going on, we see a massive eagle descends upon the town while scattering numerous duplicates of the letter of introduction, creating a distraction from Geno's actual scheme. As this chaos is unfolding, the team of Genin learns that a target usually used for kunai practice in the academy's dojo is, in fact, the mechanism that ends up triggering the explosive tags present in the academy. On further research, they find out that these explosive tags have been strategically placed throughout the entire village to cause mass destruction. Threatened by this, every warrior in Konoha initiates efforts to destroy the traps without alerting Geno. Further investigation reveals that Geno orchestrated this plan and set up the traps 3 decades ago as part of a mission for the Kagero village. Unfortunately for him, the village was completely destroyed by another faction shortly after Geno completed his assignment, leading to the sad death of his son. Naruto, now having the knowledge that the elderly man he befriended and had eaten with had plotted to destroy the village he loved. He then somehow discovers a clue indicating that Geno is hiding in the mountains. On the other hand, Team Under Asuma goes into the events of 30 years ago and talk about what actually happened. As Naruto is on his search, we see him track down Geno to the mountains behind the town. He arrives there and learns of Geno's evil plan to trigger explosive tags, which will cause a massive rock slide to bury and destroy Konoha. However, even before Geno can put his evil plan to work, we see Naruto's friends arrive as they are being guided by Hinata, as she was aware of Naruto's whereabouts. Together, with each other's help, they plan to prevent Geno from detonating the tags, ultimately saving the village from disaster. After the battle, we see that as Geno passes away, he expresses his desire for his son to enjoy another scavenger hunt. It becomes evident to the group that, seeing by the resemblance of Naruto with his dead son, Geno transformed his traps into a scavenger hunt. Everyone realizes in him doing so Konoha was never truly in jeopardy. Sometime later, we see Naruto and Sakura organize a special and silly episode commemorating the original Naruto anime's 4-year run. In the episode, we see 5 standout battles from the Sasuke recovery mission. Ranked 5th, the viewers also witnessed the showdown between Naruto and Sasuke atop the hospital roof. This is followed by Sakura's victory over Naruto. Ranked 4th is the battle between Choji and Jirobo, which had some epic moves. Choji, after seeing this, then playfully plays jokes on Naruto for a lighthearted comment. Additionally, we see that the episode features notable battles that did make the top 5, including Kakashi vs Sabuza and Kapashi vs God, the latter being a comical non-traditional rock-paper-scissors match but still very enjoyed by the viewers. In the 3rd place, the battle between Kiba and Seiken is presented, which is followed by an interview with the cocky Kiba by Sakura. As the interview takes place, we see them have a playful scuffle with Naruto. Now coming up to 2nd place, we see the battle between Neji and Kidomaru, along with Neji's point of view and a playful exchange with Naruto. Finally, the much-awaited moment arrives as we see that the top spot features the iconic showdown between Naruto and Sasuke at the Valley of the End. Throughout the episode are humorous clips of Sakura playfully taunting Naruto. As the show concludes, Jiraiya introduces a surprise guest, or Akamaru, who grants Sakura and Naruto a brief glimpse of Sasuke. So that's it for the Part 1 review of the amazing series Naruto. Don't forget to like the video and make sure that you subscribe to get updates for future uploads.